A small community, that
I know.
stuff does happen,
It does.
I mean, what do you do?
That's the city government.
I don't, because they get money directly, don't they? They get their own. I mean, there's maybe some things. I don't know if there's a direct conflict.
It does.
I mean, what do you do? They're really their own thing.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't think there is.
I don't know if you could or not. No, she wanted me to keep running for commissioner.
Oh,
Yeah,
gotcha.
not her. Yeah, no,
Oh,
no.
gotcha. I got you.
Can I get a motion to accept staff report? Or men?
So moved.
I second that.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Everybody had a chance to look over the minutes? Any corrections or can I get a motion to approve minutes?
Make a motion, we approve the minutes for the June 12th meeting.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Okey dokey. You want to do
Yeah, so
yours first?
sure. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So I just want to give a warm welcome to Mr. John Jasperson, who was appointed to the Planning and Zoning Commission for a 3-year term. So thanks, John, for volunteering for this. I really appreciate we really appreciate it and representing the Jamestown area. So thank you very much. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Eric. Our first order of business today is we need to hold elections. So we need to elect a chair. So looking for any nominations? Motion, nominations?
I'll make a nomination to appoint Rob Gerard as the chairman for the Sweetwater County Planning and Zoning Commission.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second that.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Rob.
Yeah, that's how it works. Yeah.
That's how it works.
You get the hot seat in the middle now,
Yeah,
Bob.
all right.
You're in a hot seat in the middle now.
Baptism by fire here.
Yeah. Go ahead and switch. Yeah, I'll let you switch seats.
All right. Look what you guys have done now.
I'm tired of having somebody argue with, so. put you here.
Casey just wanted to push me this way further from him. So, all right. Thank you. Just want to thank Angela Wilson for the good job she did while she was here on the board and as chairman. She ran a good meeting, so thank you. Next on the agenda, we need to nominate a vice chair.
I also like to nominate Kelly Richards as vice chair for planning and zoning for Sweetwater County.
I was gonna nominate you.
Yeah, he got it out too fast.
Yes, I did.
All right, we got a first, we have a second.
I'll second that.
All right, we have a first and a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed, say nay. All right, Kelly Richards, our new vice chair. All right. All right, so we have some board actions that the commissioners approved. We get a rundown on those, please.
Yep, absolutely. So during the Board of County Commissioners meeting, we had 5 actions that were approved. So the first one is for an approval of setback variance requested by Richard Vasa on behalf of Searle Brothers Construction. The second was an approval for a zone map amendment from I2 to R3 by Brian Marinzik for 191. Our third one was an approval of a maximum height variance requested by Carla Susner for SAC Wireless on behalf of Union Wireless. And then the fourth one kind of goes with that third one, approval of the conditional use permit for an 80-foot cell tower for Union Wireless. And then the final one was approval for a zone map amendment to establish zoning as R2 as requested by Sweetwater County Land Use staff.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, with that, I guess we'll move on to public hearings. Public hearing number one, Penny Hensley, a variance for setback within a mixed residential. I'll turn the time over.
All right, thank you very much. All right, so we do have the applicant present here today, and this is for, as you stated, a variance for setback for applicant Penny Hensley. Property owner is Jesse Lauder, and this is Lot 1, Block 8 of Rio Vista First on Rio Verde Drive in Green River. For our infrastructure, we've got Jamestown Rio Vista Water District and Sewer District, Green River Fire Response Area, Rocky Mountain Power, Dominion Energy, and it's also on Rio Verde Drive or County Road 1198 within the growth management area. And it's currently zoned as R2 mixed residential. So we can see here our residential zoning map. So it's, fully residential here in this area, and then just our aerial view of this location. And currently, I believe there's actually this aerial view is from 2023. So right now there's not a home on that property. So the application, basically what we're looking for here is to be able to have an encroachment 3 feet into the front setback of 20 feet and an encroachment of 3 feet in the rear setback of 10 feet. This property is owned by Penny Hensley's son, Jesse Lauder, and Hensley is looking to relocate her 16 by 76 foot manufactured home that she currently lives in to the property and then live in that property on that property in that home. But we would need to do the setback variances to allow for the intended relocation of the manufactured home to take place. So we've got our views here. This was posted 6/26 of 2024. Views to north, south, east, and west. We can see the lot where we're looking to have this variance. All right, so moving on to our review criteria for variance. We've got our first one, and that's just that there are special circumstances or conditions that would support granting a variance here. This subdivision, we're in Jamestown area. This is fairly old, platted back at least in the 1960s. Lot sizes were meant to accommodate smaller homes then, and looked into it a little bit more at the US Census Bureau back then. In the 1960s, when they plotted this, the average manufactured home size was 800 square feet, and the median lot size for a home this size would have been approximately 0.19 acres. These days, the median manufactured home is between 1,100 and 1,200 square feet, and this property is 0.15 acres. So we would need to have that variance to be able to meet the setback requirements. This property itself wouldn't really be able to accommodate most modern median manufactured home sizes. The second review criteria that we looked at is would not granting the variance deprive the applicant of the reasonable use of the land, and is it necessary and the minimum adjustment needed to accomplish the purpose? We do find that granting this variance would be necessary for Hensley to be able to have her home on the property, and that the encroachment of 3 feet into the front and into the back is the minimum necessary to be able to fit the home onto that lot. It is already owned. The home is owned already and lived in by Hensley, and then property is also already owned by her son. So denying the variance would result in some hardship for the applicant. And then the final review criteria that we looked at was just, is this in harmony of the resolution, and will it be injurious to the neighborhood or detrimental to public welfare? And we thought about this a good deal about how we would go about kind of proposing this and what would make the least impact potentially here. And we thought that splitting the encroachment between the front and the back would be the most beneficial thing to do, because it will reduce the visual impact of the adjustment by a great deal. I mean, instead of having it all the way up 6 feet or all the way back 6 feet, it's 3. And then it also, we have a alley in the back of the property, and so that also helps this be less impactful. And there'll still be space for parking and things like that for the residents. And so staff finds that granting of the resolution will not be detrimental to the public welfare. We did receive a few comments from public or from agencies. Mark Berry from Lumen said that records show copper facilities in the area. Jared Larson for Real Estate Services Phillips 66 Company said Phillips 66 Company on behalf of Pioneer Pipeline has no comment on this project. And Christy Talon with Rocky Mountain Power said, just please be mindful of the location of your meter pole in relation to where you want to place the house. It should be at least 3 feet away from the building, and the service wire cannot go over the home. This site has an active meter. RMP has no other issues with this location. And the applicant has been made aware of the comment from Rocky Mountain Power. So they will be able to address that. And with that, staff would like to recommend approval of this variance for 3 feet encroachment into the 20-foot front setback, 3 feet encroachment into the rear setback. And it would just be with the following condition, that the variance applies specifically and exclusively to the 17 by 76 manufactured home owned by Hensley that is proposed to be relocated to this property.
All right, thank you. Yeah, if we have the owner come forward, please. Yeah, if you guys have anything you want to add or.
Yeah, we talked to Rocky Mountain Power. They're going to change the angle of the line on the property so we can put it where we want it to, straight, without being underneath the line. So we're pretty much working on everything we can possibly. Just wait.
Okay. Sounds good. Anything else? All right. Any board members have any questions?
I don't have, it's not so much a question as though that I really like that. I mean, the variance, I'm all for it, to be honest with you, because what it does is it takes an empty lot and you're putting a home on it, and you're gonna have, it's gonna increase the value, and and I hate to see an empty lot go to waste, and it's a small lot. I'm all for it. I applaud what you guys are doing. So thank you.
Anybody else? All right, thank you. So that will open it up to the public. Anyone here or anybody online want to speak for it, against it, or in general? Okay, that will close public comment and open it up to the board.
I've already stated my thoughts on this, so I'm all for it.
All right, Daph, we can get a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve public hearing number 1, variance selection, Sweetwater County zoning resolution, minimum setback within the mixed residential, including land use staff comments.
I'll second that.
All right, we got a first and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Nay. Okay, passes 5-0 favor. All right, we'll move on to public hearing number 2.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Chair. So the next one is very, very similar to the first one. So Jesse Lauder actually owns 2 lots in this area. And so this information is pretty much the same. And he's also looking for a variance for the encroachment, same as the previous variance. So this address here is for Lot 5, Block 3 of Rio Vista Second. It's addressed at 4121 Rio Verde Drive, and it is R2. And you can see it's just a few properties down from the one that Penny Hensley will be on. So this is also a lot without a home on it. And it's the same dimensions and everything as that first one. So they're looking for that 3-foot encroachment into the front setback of 20 feet, 3-foot encroachment into the rear setback of 10 feet. The dimensions of the property are the same, and it's also the same dimensions for the manufactured home that would be going there, 16 feet by 76 feet. And this is a manufactured home that Jesse Lauder currently does reside in, and he plans to move to this property and live on his property in his home. So we've got our views here, north, south, west, east. And like I said, I really kept the review criteria the same because they're the same dimensions of the property and of the home. This lot is just not large enough to accommodate a modern manufactured home and meet the setback requirements. We've considered, how to best make this the most minimal adjustment necessary. And by splitting it, that's, the best way that we could think of to help with moving this forward for the applicant. And it is necessary for them to have that variance to be able to have the home on the property. And staff doesn't find that the resolution will be detrimental to the public welfare. There's also an alley behind this property as well. And so that 3 feet in the front, 3 feet in the back into the setbacks there is the minimum adjustment needed and is in harmony with the resolution. This one, for the public and agency comments, we did have a slightly different comment with Rocky Mountain Power, which it does seem like the applicants have been in touch with Rocky Mountain Power. They just said to please be mindful of the location of the meter pole, same as the last one, should be at least 3 feet away from the building and the service wire cannot go over the home. They also said that this site does not have an active meter. There's an old meter pole, but it will need to be brought up to code and a state electrical pulled before RMP will install a meter and or connect service. RMP has no other issues with this location. And with that, staff recommends approval of this variance for 3 feet encroachment into the 20-foot front setback, 3-foot encroachment into the rear setback of 10 feet. Requested by Penny Hensley on behalf of Jesse Lauder with the following condition: that the variance applies specifically and exclusively to the 17 by 76 foot manufactured home owned by Lauder that is proposed to be relocated to this property.
All right, thank you. All right. Does the applicant have anything they want to add, or? I'd have you come up, but it was the same as last time, so. Okay, all right. Anything from the board? Questions or? Okay, we'll open it up for public comment. Okay. All right, we'll close it to public comment and open it back up to the board. Anyone has a motion or anything they want to add?
I'll make a motion. We accept the variance on section 5G Sweetwater County zoning resolution minimum setback within the mixed residential R2.
How about staff comments?
And with staff comments. Thanks, Rob.
No problem.
That's
I'll
why you're
second that.
there and I'm here. With staff comments.
Okay, we got first. we have
I'll second that.
Okay, first and second, all in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed? Any opposed? All right, motion carries 5-0. All right, we'll move on to public hearing number 3.
Great, thank you. So public hearing number 3 is a conditional use permit application by Carlos Susner, SAC Wireless, on behalf of Union Wireless. And we do have Cynthia Vandermark with SAC Wireless online, attending online. Property owner is Wiley Construction. This is at 307 Blairtown Road. Current zoning is I2, heavy industrial. The infrastructure existing is its fire district number 1 response area, Rocky Mountain Power, Dominion Energy, and Blairtown Connector Road, County Road 51, within the growth management area. So zoning map, we can see we're surrounded by industrial use and agricultural use properties. And then looking at the aerial view, I've circled the actual site location on this parcel here. And you can see that there's some pretty steep local terrain just around that site location. And that it's fairly remote too, just to point out. What Union Wireless is proposing here is a new 120-foot self-support tower with ancillary facilities. And this new tower would have the capability to accommodate future co-locations. They do need to leave the existing tower that's on the location up. It's 45 feet. They need to leave it up for 2 years, just so that they can move over to they're doing a major network change. So they need to be able to have both running concurrently so that they can make that change without losing service. But then as soon as that is over and they're done with the network change, then they would be removing that 45-foot tower from the property. So site photos were posted 5/23/2024. View to the north, south, east, and west. This is a pretty remote location here. And then we've got 9 criteria to review for this conditional use permit. The first is that it's consistent with all applicable provisions of the comprehensive plan. And staff does find that the cell tower that is proposed would be consistent with this plan, provides additional cell phone coverage for 5G, and would just be good for the community. 2, the request shall not adversely affect adjacent properties. This proposed tower is 124 feet tall with the antenna tip, but it is far enough away from any setbacks or any property boundaries that if it fell, it wouldn't cross those property boundaries. For example, the required setbacks here are 25 feet to the front, 10 to the side, 20 to the rear, and this tower would be 400 feet from the northwest boundary, 1750 from the east, and 375 from the south. And then also the tower won't generate any additional noise or traffic or vibrations. The third is that the request is compatible with the existing or allowable uses of adjacent properties. As the aerial maps showed, the area is zoned for industrial use. So there are light industrial and heavy industrial properties that are adjacent, and then also some agriculture zoned areas. But we find that the request is compatible with the existing and allowable uses of these properties. And we would also like to point out that because this location is fairly remote and there's terrain that kind of disguises the cell tower, and because its zoning fits with kind of what we see as being good zoning for cell towers and telecommunication facilities, this is a location that we really like for a telecommunication facility. The fourth is that the request can demonstrate adequate facilities. They've been operating here on this property since 2009. There's adequate access to the facility, power, and everything has been maintained, and they have everything they need to do to meet both review criteria 4 and 5. Our sixth one is that the request has minimized to the greatest degree possible adverse effects on the natural environment. Staff does not anticipate any adverse effects on the natural environment. There's also no maximum height restriction for structures in this zone. So that's also not something that we are concerned about for I-2. The applicant is also proposing an unmanned communication site, so there won't be any traffic congestion issues. For the 8th review criteria, the request will not adversely affect the public health, safety, or welfare. Staff finds that it will not, the tower won't generate additional noise, vibrations, or traffic, and also that, again, with the proposed tower, the fall zone will not cross any property boundaries. Finally, the request conforms to all applicable provisions of this resolution. This request meets setback requirements. There are no height restrictions in I-2 zoning districts. And as such, staff finds that the request does conform to the resolution as long as the conditional use permit is approved. So we did have some agency comments here, and the applicant did respond to those. So we've provided those in this presentation for you to look over. Our first one was from Chandler Marsh, Assistant City Planner for City of Rock Springs. They said, City of Rock Springs Ordinance Wireless Communications 13-81 4.E.2. I did not intend to read all of that. Sorry. D.ix. Towers over 40 feet in height shall not be located within 1/4 mile from any existing tower that is over 40 feet in height, unless the applicant has shown to the satisfaction of the city that there are no reasonably suitable alternative sites in the required geographic area, which can meet the applicant's needs. The applicant said that there are no other registered towers within 1/4 mile of Blairtown West site, and the existing tower is not structurally capable of Union's required network changes. So the existing 45-foot tower. Mark Berry with Lumen said that there's no conflict here. If they were to require service, Lumen would ask that they bring the 2-inch conduit out to the right-of-way on Blairtown Connector Road. And the applicant stated that they're not currently proposing any additional fiber or utility services at this time. When or if the need arises, then like to add an additional co-locator, then they will bring the conduit out to the right-of-way. Christy Talon with Rocky Mountain Power said, if you intend to have co-location on this tower, we will need to address the power as it's set up for just one small tower. We'll need a newer, larger transformer and service as well as gang metering. Please call to discuss. The applicant replied and stated that Christy Talon confirmed that no power upgrades are needed at the time for the new tower, as Union Wireless will be the only co-location on the tower, and that when needed, it will not be an issue to upgrade the transformer. Union Wireless also confirmed that they will reach out to Rocky Mountain Power once they receive a co-location application. Union Wireless is not proposing to upgrade or request additional power services at this time. And then Jared Larson with Phillips 66 Company stated that Phillips 66 Company on behalf of Pioneer Pipeline has no comment on this project. And just included are some background information, I guess I would say, that just kind of explain the reasoning behind why we need to, why Union would need to keep that 45-foot tower on the property for 2 years. So that's just a little bit of a deeper dive if anybody is curious on the reasoning behind that. I'm going to kind of skip through here. These are all just to support what's already been presented. And after considering everything, staff is supportive of conditional use approval for the conditional use permit for 120-foot cell tower as requested by Carlos Susner, SAC Wireless on behalf of Union Wireless, with the following 2 conditions. First, that the existing 45-foot tower would be removed within 2 years post-construction of the 120-foot tower. And second, if the height of the tower is to increase above the 120-foot, or if the footprint of the leased area is to increase, the applicant will need to go through the conditional use process again.
All right. Thank you. Applicants online, you say?
Yes. Oh, hi.
Oh, yes, you want to come forward, please?
My name is Cynthia Vandemark. I am with SAC Wireless representing Union Wireless.
Okay. Yeah. Do you have anything to add or anything you want to?
Yeah, just in regards to Rocky Mountain Power, also Union walked that site as well with Rocky Mountain Power before we submitted, just to make sure that they were aware of the proposal, that what Union is trying to do with building the second tower and then putting their new network on that tower while keeping the Huawei equipment on the older tower before they decommission it. And then also, in regards to the 2 years, really, Union wanted to ask for 5, but they were like, 2 years, we can do it. It's going to be hard. What they're doing right now is they also have to get their regulatory approvals, all federal, and that takes about 120 days, and then ordering the tower. So there's a push. We're hoping that the tower will get built by the end of this year, but it could get pushed into next year. But with that said, when they are going to be making these upgrades to the new tower, they are swapping a completely new network. And that is really the trigger for why this whole project is being here in the first place, why I'm here. So if you need more details, feel free to reach out anytime, but this is something that they're required to do. And the antennas, unfortunately, that they are proposing for their swap that they need are a lot heavier. And that's why the existing tower failed. Right now, with the antennas that are on there, it's not a failing structure. I just wanted you guys to be aware of that. So,
Okay. All right, yeah, thank you. All right. Any questions for?
No, I'm good.
All
thank you all.
right, thank you. All right, with that, we'll open it up for public comment. It's always a little awkward when no one's here. All right.
Runs through the door.
Yeah. All right, we'll close public comment. All right, does the board have anything they want to add or?
I guess just a question on the 2-year, the way it's kind of spelled out, and I was trying to look for the staff comments, and I'm not seeing that page here, but it was basically not to be removed until the 120-foot tower was constructed. And so does that 2 years start ticking the minute the new tower is built,
It says post-construction.
post-construction? So-
Yeah.
So I think, if that's adequate to suffice for the time frame, I think we should be staying there. I just want to make sure we had that in there with the staff comments.
I know Union would ask for 2 years, and with their network up and running, it may take a couple months after, the tower could be built, but it may still take them a little bit of, just working through to make sure the antennas and everything is on air, basically. So if that could be a part of it as the condition, I know they really appreciate it.
So you're thinking after construction, you'd need longer than the 2 years?
The 2 years from starting from when that tower is actually running on air. So yeah, and it probably would be taken down before that, but that's what Union is they're asking for. So
you're looking at the construction time on the tower, let's say, what do you think?
3 months, probably.
3 months? And then after that, then you'll give notice. I don't know how how would we know, or the county know? But you'll have 3 months, and then the clock starts on that 2 years, is I guess what everybody's trying to get at, to make sure that
Right.
the 2
So-
years is, you have plenty of time, but also you don't drag and say.
That's totally understandable. Yep. So I think if we could make the condition 2 years on air, which I think that their whole goal will be to have that on air as soon as the tower is built. They want that. It's not like they're trying to slow this at all, but just in case there's an issue, they don't want to remove that Huawei equipment on the other tower. So because once that equipment's off, it could impact like all the services in the
Yeah.
area.
I just think what everybody wants is make sure that once your tower is up and running, the clock starts on that 2 years. I think
We
that's what
can-
everybody wants.
We can make that if we could put that as a condition that Union Wireless must contact the county once that tower is up and running, then, and also to maybe also start construction, saying, hey,
Yeah.
that we can make that a condition, that'd be great. That way, everyone, the communication is.
We don't want the city of Rock Springs or
transparent.
anybody else to get, a little upset, and
Yeah,
I think that'd be good if we could do that. Eric, put a conditional on there. Saying to start of construction, how does that sound, the start of construction, and then after the start of, the 2-year time limit.
Mr. Chairman, I'm okay with that. I guess I'm just unclear how it's going to read because there's been a lot of things tossed around. So the existing 40-foot will be removed within 2 years post-construction. Post-construction.
and on air, maybe.
So nobody you can have the tower up and people drive by, oh, it's done,
That they'll make that assumption, right?
Yeah, they just need to know, what your milestone to say is when construction's done. So Eric,
What's
Can you
considered
say
completed?
post-construction and operation of the 120-foot tower, initial operation?
Yeah. I mean,
that
we
work?
call it on air, but yeah, in operation
just-
totally
on air is
translates
kinda
perfect.
weird.
So,
I think the
Yeah.
hard part
This
with,
is-
yeah.
the hard part with being on air is you could just not turn it on for years.
I think we can there could be some, so we would contact you when the tower is to start construction, contact you when the tower is built, and then have another milestone of contacting you within 3 months to give you the status. I think that within that 3 months, they should be on air. And then from there, you guys could say the 2 years could start.
Mr. Chairman, I have a suggestion. How long? What's just a time frame that's reasonable? If 2 years is 2.5 years okay? And
2.5
then
years would be great.
Let's just do that.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me if we just changed it to 30 months.
And the beauty.
We're adding
of
way
this-
too much in there. That's all I'm saying. Let's just make it.
Yes.
It's
I don't
gonna
think that's
make
going to kill us another 6 months.
Yeah.
so.
Instead of making it too complicated, they can always come back and ask, we need our 90 days, we need our 6 months. I mean, it's not,
So you're basically saying, Eric, is,
don't overcomplicate it in the
Just make
beginning.
it
yeah,
30 months.
yeah.
Instead of
So
2 years. I'm totally.
start
okay
of
with it.
construction, you have 30 months
Yeah, and then
to
it's
finish
covered.
the whole project.
Yeah.
That's demo and everything.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
good with that.
Yeah.
Okay. What, any more discussion on that? Or anything else? Okay, with that, we'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve public hearing number 3. SAC Wireless on behalf of Union Wireless, conditional use permit, communication cell tower with staff recommendations
I'll second that
With the 30 minutes.
with the 30-month.
with the 30 minutes. That's part of the staff recommendations, correct?
Well, to.
All staff and.
Have it on the record,
Commissioners,
yeah.
yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
We'll change that.
All right, we have a first and a second. Any further discussion? No? All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries 5-0. All right. With that, we'll move on to other business. You have anything, Eric? or-
No, I'll just, what I think I'm going to try to do next month, and we'll do a little bit of P and Z orientation, because John is new to the board, so we will do that at the next meeting. And then, resource management plan is supposed to be, Rock Springs, I believe, published beginning of August, just so everybody's aware. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
All right, Okay, with that, not seeing anything else on the agenda, so we'll adjourn.
Thank you.